those who may not pay with their lives, but will return disabled, dismembered, and disfigured, those who have escaped death but are left with the memories of war. We also acknowledge that there are women and men who will not return as we grieve their passing. We pause to honor their service and their sacrifice. We pray to comfort their friends, families, and especially the children that they have left behind. From your word found in John 15:13, greater love hath no one but to lay down his life for his friends. We also remember Jesus, who died for each and every one of us so that we may have spiritual life in him and eternal life with him. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him will not perish, but have eternal life. From John 3:16. We also pause this hour to give thanks for all of the women and men who have served in this nation's armed forces, from the American Revolution to those currently serving around the world in all of our wars. For we know that some gave some, and some gave all. Those who have not served cannot fully imagine the experience of war, but we do know war's aftermath and the toll that it takes on the human heart. This day remembers and acknowledges loss, so do we remember those who we have lost and loved. We hold their names and their faces in our mind. We recall the gifts that gave to us through the strength of their being, the depth of their love, the courage of their dying, and the fullness of their living. In this hour, their names surround us, and they live with us in blessed memory. May we remain together as a tribute to all that they have meant to us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Next week we'll have Steve Nelson, who's the commander of Hanover County Veterans Council.
I'd like to thank everybody that came out today. This is something that Barbara wanted to do. What the council is trying to do, and along with Barbara's help and our council's help, is try to show off our Coliseum. We spent a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of work and a lot of argument about getting this Coliseum where it's at today, and we're still trying to strive to get it better. And we work on a lot of projects. Hopefully by fall, you're going to see all of our war memorials down at the riverfront. We're going to move the World War I, the II, they're all going down there, except for this building. It's the only thing we couldn't move. So this building is a memorial. A lot of people don't know that. But we do want to thank everybody. I want to thank all the veterans who are here today. And if you're not a member, join. You know, we really need you to join some organization, the Marine Corps League, VFW, American Legion. You just get in what you put into it. So anyway, if you could just help us to help you, that's what this is about. And for all of us to honor all of our soldiers this weekend that passed away and the ones that are here, trying to keep their memory and their hopes and dreams alive about our country. Thank you.
Next we'll have Lee Frank. He will give the General Slogan's orders, number 11.
Headquarters, Grand Army of the Republic. General Orders Number 11, Washington, D.C., May 5th, 1868. 30th day of May, 1868, is designated for the purpose of strewing with flowers or otherwise decorating the graves of comrades who died in defense of their country during the late rebellion. Those bodies now lie in almost every city, village, and hamlet churchyard in the land. In this observance, no form of ceremony is prescribed. The posts and comrades will in their own way arrange such fitting services and testimonials of respect as circumstances may permit. We are organized, comrades, as our regulators tell us, for the purpose, among other things, of preserving and strengthening those kind of fraternal feelings which have bound together the soldiers, sailors, and Marines who unite to suppress the late rebellion. What can aid more to assure this result than cherishing tenderly the memory of our heroic dead who made their breast barricade between our country and its foes. Their soldier lives reveal reveille of freedom to erase and cherish, and their deaths to the tattoo of rebellious tyranny in arms. We should guard their graves with sacred diligence. All that consecrated wealth and taste of the nation can add to their adornment, and security is but a fitting tribute to the memory of their slain defenders. Let no wanton foot tread rudely on such hallowed grounds. Let pleasant paths invite the coming and going of reverent visitors and fond memories. Let no vandalism or avarice or neglect or ravages of time testify to the present or to the coming generations that we have forgotten as a people the cost of a free and individual republic. If other eyes grow dull, other hands slack, and other hearts cold in the solemn trust, ours shall keep it well as long as the light and warmth of life remains to us. Let us then, at the time appropriate, gather around their sacred remains and garland the passionless mounds above them with the choicest flowers of springtime. Let us rise above them the dear old flag they say from dishonor. Let us, in this solemn presence, renew our pledges to aid and assist those who mourn, who they have left among us a sacred challenge on a vigorous nation's gratitude to soldiers and sailors, widow and orphan. It is the purpose of the Commander-in-Chief to inaugurate this observance with the hope that it will be kept up from year to year, while a survivor of the war remains to honor the memory of his departed comrades. He earnestly desires the public press to be this friendly aid in bringing to the nation of comrades in all parts of the country in time for the simultaneous compliance and forthwith. Department commanders will use efforts to make this order effective by order of John A. Logan, Commander-in-Chief. Thank you.
Next, we will have the presentation of the tomb of the unknown soldier. Please be very quiet and keep your eyes upon the tomb.
Don, are you doing this? Barb, keep him in hand.
Coast Guard. Two of us this vigil keep, midsummer rains and winter snow, month by month and year by year, as seasons come and seasons go. Remember, as you pass my grave, I am not dead. I cannot die, so long as you will keep the faith. We live, my flag and I. Pity, no, nay, envy me,
my place against the morning sky, so long as you will guard us well, we will live, my flag and I. The tragedy you are about to witness is for the purpose of reminding you never to forget those who gave their lives for our country, or the ideals for which their sacrifice was made. The unknown soldier represents the unknown soldier of all wars. Sergeant Younger.
I am Experienced Sergeant Edward F. Younger, 59th Regiment, 50th Infantry Division, United States Army. I saw poppies and wheat fields on the hills of France, reddening in the summer breeze that binds them, nod and dance. Poppies and the wheat fields now still beside them lie, scattered forms that stir not when the star shells burst on high, gently bending o'er them beneath the moon's soft glow. Poppies in the wheat fields on the ransomed fields of France. Theirs was not the reason why, President blood to do or die.
My comments in just a few moments, the spirit of Sergeant Younger will continue with the story and the selection of the unknown soldier and the burial at Arlington. That at this very moment, thousands of miles from home, in ground, concentrated as American soil, sleep thousands of our comrades in arms. They sleep under the frosty skies of France and Germany, under the starry desert skies of Africa, and under the empty canopy of the province. But despite the distance that separates them from us, they sleep there in watchful love of every American, as sure if they were eternally cradled in the soil of the motherland. For those heroes who did not return, let us dedicate this portion of this degree as a memorial service to their memory.
In the City Hall of Chalon-sur-Marne, France, 4 earth-stained coffins lay in a flag-decorated room. One coffin had been brought there from each of 4 American cemeteries. As I walked slowly past the honored row, a bunch of white roses in my hand. The strains of a dirge played by a French infantry band floated through the door. Twice I made a tour of the room, overwhelmed by the enormity of my mission there. I made a shaft of sunlight penetrate the gloom, and it seemed that I walked with God, and He guided the trembling hand as I gently placed the roses on the coffin to the right. I had selected the body of a dedicated comrade, a soldier known but to God. The coffin was placed in a casket, which was loaded on board Admiral Dewey's old flagship, the Olympia, Lahore, France, and conveyed to the United States. The casket, on arrival in Washington, was transported to the rotunda of the Capitol, where it lay in state on the same catafalque that had borne the bodies of President Lincoln, Garfield, and McKinley. The body lay in state, as thousands passed before it in silent homage. Many wiped away tears as they saw, in retrospect, the body of their loved one. Flowers and wreaths were brought by individuals and organizations. Representatives of foreign countries brought tribute from their nations. It was 8:30 in the morning on November 11, 1921, the 3rd anniversary of the signing of the armistice that ended the active fighting in World War I. When the body of the unknown was lifted from its resting place in the rotunda and was borne tenderly down the steps of the Capitol to a caisson waiting below. A military band played "Nearer, My God, to Thee." The President, 2 ex-presidents, generals of the Army, war veterans whose valor won them the Medal of Honor, cabinet members, senators, representatives, and governors were in the cortege. At the amphitheater in Arlington Cemetery, President Harding made a notable address which was marked with deep emotion. As the body was lowered into the tomb, taps were sounded and the battery began the national salute. That is my story, comrade. I have received my reward everlasting. I dwell in that house not made with hands, eternal in the heaven, with whose comrades no one but to God.
The name of him whose body lies here took flight with his imperishable soul. We know not whence he came, but only that his death marks with him the everlasting glory of an American who died for his country. We cannot know the eminence of his birth, but we do know the glory of his death. He died for his country, and a greater devotion has no man than this. He died, unquestioning, uncomplaining, with faith in his heart and hope on his lips that his country should triumph and its civilization survive. I represent the spirit of the unknown soldier whose body shall rest forever unknown in the capital of my country. On each day, multitudes visit my resting place and pay homage at the shrine. To all I represent, each coming of all wars who made this supreme sacrifice for his country and for you. I speak with commanding voice to lawmakers of our great nation regarding our duty to the disabled, the sick, the orphan, the poor, and all comrades who have suffered while war's cruel ravages. Would you, my comrades, who served and suffered within the time of war, wish me to sink back to the rest I so richly deserve? If so, then carry on the work that you do so nobly bid as in war, and complete the peacetime task that war was placed upon us. During my days of rest, I have seen our valiant veterans return from battle unhonored, shunned, and by those failed to serve our country in the time of need. I have witnessed the division of the American people by the outspoken minority, advocating non-support of our armed forces. Later, I wish my beloved land misled, betrayed by seductive foreign influence, and encouraged by misguided Americans scuttle a large part of its navy and roughly its national defense on land, on sea, and in the air. Further seeking the good of the nation, further spreading the principles of the democracy, further endeavoring to preserve for our posterity a free government. I now plead with you to make the 48 program your creed by day and your prayer by night, beseeching Almighty God for strength and guidance to continue the fight for preparedness, for the ideals and principles on which our civilization has been built, to see to it that our nation never again is left without weapons in a world where he who would be free must be strong, and to ensure the unknown soldiers of all wars that their lives were not sacrificed in vain, and that nations shall not lift hand against nations. Neither shall there be war anymore. Farewell until we reach in the mansion in the Father, there to abide in peace and happiness through all eternity. Lord God of hosts, be with you as yet, lest we forget. Farewell, peace be with you, Farewell. Unknown soldier, you whose memory we revere, I place upon your tomb this wreath to let you know that we who have returned will carry on and complete the peace in time past that war has plagued on us. Let us pray. Almighty and eternal God, Lord of hosts, the Prince of Peace, extend your mercy, we pray, upon these, our departed comrades, who in their life and time and in their death give us the supreme example of how to live and how to die in service to you, our God, and to these United States of our beloved America. We ask you your blessing in all humility upon our comrades who have gone before and upon the last solte. Through him who said, greater love than his has no man that man lay down his life for his friends. Amen. PGs, remember, the scene that you have just witnessed may be a constant source of inspiration for you to work in local service and thus prove yourselves worthy of the membership of the La Societe. And I want to take this time, it's not in the script, but I want to thank all the members of the 40 and 8 who helped put this on. If you're a member of the 48, if you could stand up. Because 40 and 8 is the one that puts this on, and in the past it used to travel throughout the state because we had the best service of this going. So I want to thank all of us that are members of the 40 and 8. Thank you.
across the Delaware, wore rags upon his feet when shoes were gone. She tended wounded in a tattered tent. She didn't sleep for days but carried on. He saw fire in the skies over Pearl Harbor. A career marched for miles at captors' hands. Searched the skies of Vietnam for choppers bringing home. And the patriots in lonely desert sands, they are the stars on my flag. They wear the stripes upon their souls, the unsung heroes who remain to make sure that we all know to pledge allegiance to our flag, hold her high for all to see. Legacy. We've seen things we'll never even dream of. Though sleeping they are haunted every night by the voices of their fallen comrades, who bid them to keep telling of the fight. And so they tell their children and their loved ones, though in telling tears betray the scars that last, from a sacrifice that bought a piece of liberty for this country, which must not forget its past. Hold her high for all to see, that we remember, we won't forget our veterans' legacy. This Memorial Day weekend, I'd like to invite you to join us as we are doing ceremonies throughout the community in recognition and memory of our veterans from all branches of the service: the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force. Actually, this is the Coast Guard song. And the Air Force. We invite you to join us, and we thank you for joining us as we remember those who have gone before us. They are the stars on my flag. They wear the stripes upon their souls. The the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will remember, we won't forget our veterans' We can do a little bit of something, each and every one of us. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. The world today is different from the one we knew before. Our lives have changed and we won't be the same anymore. So we all search for an answer. We don't know what to say, but there's something we can do to show how we feel today. Love America with all your heart. Just a simple act of kindness is a perfect way to start. To love America, and not just today, but tomorrow and every time you see your glory wave above her cities and her people. For the peaceful life we crave. Love America in every way. We come from every nation, and together we will stand to pursue a life of liberty and peace throughout our land. And to those beyond our borders who would seek our peaceful shore, we'll extend our hand of friendship and we'll ask for nothing more than you love America with all your heart. Love her fields and lakes and forests, and teach the children near and far to love America, and not just today, but tomorrow and every time you see your glory wave above her cities and her people. For the peace for which we pray. Love America in every way. Love America with all your heart. Love this life of opportunity, this liberty imparts. Love America, and not just today, but tomorrow and every time you see old glory wave above our cities and the people. The world we hope to say, love America. Love America in every I've just one more to share with you. This actually talks about the generations that take us through from World War II to our young veterans returning from Afghanistan. This is what it's like to be an American family. Mary saw the bombs in 1941. The youthful world turned upside down when she saw what they had done. She lived in a world of freedom. She lost things that she held dear. She dreamed one day she'd sail across the sea to America. Austin heard the call in 1944. He was only 17 when he went off to war. And he knew he was in God's hands when he stepped out the boat and into the sand. He dreamed of home and this place he longs to be, in the land of the free and the home of the brave. We know that we got something that's worth everything to save, and our banners will rise and forever will wave, in the land of the free and the home of the brave. Well, Austin met Mary and they raised a family. They grew to be soldiers and sailors, airmen and marines, in the land of the free, home of the brave. We know that we've got something that's worth everything to say, and our banner will rise and forever will wave, in the land of the free, the home of the brave. Mary saw the planes in the year 2001. Her little world turned upside down when she saw what they had done. But her grandma opened a shadow box. She took the girl outside. She raised Austin's flag to the top of the pole and said, here's the way we show our pride, in the land of the free and the home of the brave. We know that we got something that's worth everything to say, and our banner will rise and forever will wave, in the lands of the free and the home of the brave, in the land of the free and the home of the brave, in the land of the in the home of the Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here today. Commander Melcher for bringing together the 40 and 8. Barb, for everything that you've done to make this such a wonderful opportunity today. We hope if you've enjoyed this, you'll share this with your friends in the community. We want to keep doing this. We want to make this a special way to start Memorial Day weekend every year. What do you think? Should we do it? Woo! I am your brother, I'm your sister, I'm a good old country boy, and I celebrate the liberties our people now enjoy. I will speak out for what I believe, just knowing that I can. And who am I? I am an American. I am a soldier, I'm a sailor, I'm an airman, a marine. Like those who went before me, I can tell you what it means to be proud to serve my country and protect my fellow man. Now who am I am an American. Now whether I'm black or white, red or yellow, my blood's red, white and blue. I believe in God and I'm proud to say I'm American through and through. I'm your mother, I'm your father, I'm your neighbor, I'm your friend. And you'll never see me burn our flag, on that you can depend. And I'll defend your right to speak your mind, but I'll speak my mind too. Go find some other country if mine's not good enough for you. I wrote that line when I was a lot younger. But I'm the sons and I'm the daughters of a proud and peaceful land. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Veterans, stand up. I am an American. Thank each and every one of you for your service to God and to our country. Ladies and gentlemen, have a safe and wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Thank you for joining us today.
Barbara?
Got more?
You know, a woman's always got a word. I belong to like 5 military groups, and all the guys know I've always got something to say. I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight to watch the tomb of the unknown soldier. I hope everyone walks away with a feeling of respect for those that gave their lives for our country. I want to thank the 48 Local 471, or better known as 48. This is the first time they put on this program in a long time, and it may be a long time before you see it again. And I think they did a really good job. I would also like to thank all the other veterans that helped, and the crew of the Coliseum. We couldn't have put this on without them. And Julie is an Air Force retired, and she had a really hard job in the military. She sang, but I'm gonna put in a plug for her. She has written most of these songs, and she does have a CD. So if you like the music, you might want to talk to her. Yeah, I did something for her. Now this is a beautiful old building. This building could only, if this building could only talk, there's been so many grand events here over the last 97 years. And you know, at this time, it's really a well-kept secret. Nobody knows about the Coliseum, and we're going to try to change that. We hope to have more events like this and other events. We need to use this grand old building much more. This is the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Coliseum. It was built as a tribute to the veterans that have served and died for our country. In 2016, we will celebrate the 100th anniversary of this grand old building. In the last several months, we have put service flags in the entry, if you've noticed those. I would like to see more red, white, and blue in this grand old building. I would like for you, everyone to walk into this room and see that it's a tribute to our country and our veterans. It may take a while to do this, but I think we can do it. You will notice the tables in the front. We have a missing man's table. This is set for the veterans that have not returned to join us today. Please visit the table and pay your respects. Each item on the table represents something, and there's a paper telling that. We have a folded flag. Many of our veterans, when they pass, they have a coffin, have a flag on their coffin. Each flag represents something. There's 13 folds. So we have the meaning of the flag, direct coffin, if you would like to read that. We have a poster over here with the pictures of the different veterans memorials. As Steve said, we will have them down by the For Freedom monuments down there. We may call it a Veterans Memorial Park. It'll be where everybody can go see the monuments and don't have to run all over town. The Grand Army of the Republic room will be open if you would like to see it. And I believe the DAV room, I think they're going to open that. We're unable to do the 48 room because we got all the scenery out of this. Again, I would like to thank everybody for coming. We have some snacks and some drinks, and the women veterans have a table if you want to come visit us. I think the DAV is going to be able to talk to you. And if you see one of the guys in a red jacket or a red hat, talk to them. They're from the 48. I thank you all so very much for coming.